In this brief video, I will discuss the two components involved in a homework assignment. So to begin with, I go to Modules, and we'll take a look at the Unit 1 homework assignments that are available. So we can see that there are homework assignment components for both Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, and you can see that there are two components for each chapter's homework. One of the components is the online homework problems, the second one is the written homework problems. Let's begin by looking at the online homework problems component. So I'm going to open that up in a new tab. Notice that I am prompted to load the problems in another window, so I click on that link to do so. And at this point now, I can click on the blue button allowing me to access the online homework problems. And at this point, it's just like any other online homework system. There's a menu in the upper left-hand corner that allows me to access any of the 12 questions for this homework assignment. Also notice that this particular problem is worth 1 point. I'm circling where it says that. And notice that it says how many tries I have for every question. So in this case, I get 3 tries per question. So all I would need to do, and also, even if I use all 3 tries, there's usually another opportunity to do the problem again. But in this case, let's say I go to question number 2, and I go ahead and I make some selections. So I'm going to select that I'm just selecting at random some answers, and I go ahead and submit all parts. Notice that I immediately get prompted as to whether my answers are correct or not. Now, if a question has been answered correctly, you should see a small green check mark, letting you know that that is correct. Now, in this case, because I got them all wrong, I'm told I can retry this question below, so I can go back down below, retry the question. There's also a video that's been supplied for providing some help on this homework question, so I could click on that link and take a look at the video in order to get some additional guidance. And that's pretty much all there is to working through the online homework, is just answering each question as you go along. Now, I want to point out one other thing about the online homework. Let me go to question 3 to do this. Notice at the top of this question, there is a statement that says I must include this problem as part of my Chapter 1 written homework problems. Only questions that have that banner, that sentence at the top, are required to be written up on paper as part of the Chapter 1 written homework. And that's what you would include for that component of the homework assignments. Now, the last thing I want to say about the online homework is, let's say I close that tab, leave the page, and I want to go back and pick up where I left off. I can do that. All I have to do is go back to the Chapter 1 online homework problems, re-click the link. It will then allow me to resume exactly where I left off. In fact, if I go back to that question number 2, I can see that it still has the original answers I had before. So you can go ahead and leave the online homework assignment page and come back and keep picking up with where you were when you left off. Now, the last thing I want to point out about the online homework problems is that if I were to go to the grades at this point and take a look at my Chapter 1 online homework grade, I would notice that at this point, it shows that I have got a grade of 0 because remember, I answered a question incorrectly. The score for your online homework problems is automatically updated within Canvas as you're working through the homework. So don't get too worried if you see, like I'm looking at that and seeing a score of 0 and thinking, oh my goodness, is that going to change? And the answer is yes. As you keep working through the online homework problems and you get more correct answers, your score will go up until hopefully you get a score of 12 out of 12 for the Chapter 1 online homework problems. Now let's talk a little bit about the written problems part. So the other component of every chapter homework is the written homework problems component. So let me open that up in a new tab so we can look at it. And here I'm given the instructions and a rubric for what I need to do to write up the written problems. And again, remember that we are only writing up the problems where there was this sentence at the top of the online homework problem set, that it says that it has to include that problem as part of my written homework problems. Again, guidelines for formatting of your written work, you can click on that link and it will give you guidance on how you need to write those problems up. Basically, It's the same formatting as you've been doing for the preview or reading assignments. And again, the rubric should help guide you on what you need to do for that. And that's pretty much it for doing a homework assignment. I hope that you've found this helpful.